Hey everybody, Jeff Broadus at Broadus Defense. We have been doing a series on bleeding control because it is National Stop the Bleed Month. We're providing you some skills that you can take out there, some life-saving skills to prevent death from traumatic bleeding. We talked about putting pressure on pressure points on the arteries in the body. We talked about application of a tourniquet on upper and lower extremities. I'm going to address something called wound packing, which is for compressible wounds. Now, what do I mean by compressible wounds? A compressible or packable wound is something that is in a major muscle group or in an area that perhaps I cannot reach with a tourniquet. This tourniquet's going to be applied very, very high, but what about a major bleed in the area of the neck or the armpit or axilla, or areas way high up in the hernia area or the groin area where I can't reach a tourniquet? What I need to do is pack that wound, and I'm going to pack that wound with some very specific tools that I have here. One of them is combat gauze. This is available at broadusdefense.com and other places. It is infused with a hemostatic agent which assists in clotting blood inside the body, using your clotting mechanisms to your advantage. We also have regular Z-fold gauze, which is not treated but is very, very effective if used properly. We also have a dressing. This particular dressing is an Olay modular dressing. There's other types of battle dressings out there. The great thing about the Olay bandage is it has packable material inside the bandage. So what we're going to do on wound packing is we're going to identify the hole. This is a focus group trainer where it has various types of wound sizes in it. I'm going to pick this one, which is like a bullet wound. It's like a rifle wound, and you can see it's a pretty deep wound. It goes in pretty far. Now, the way I'm going to address this is I'm going to go ahead and open my trainer. The real packets are brown in color. This is blue. And I'm going to get this material and I'm going to find the end of it. All right. Now, I'm going to place this material hopefully on the cleanest area I can at my side, and we're going to picture that this is somebody's groin or axilla or an area I can't place a tourniquet. And I'm going to start by getting a nice big ball around my finger or two fingers, whatever going to fit, and I'm going to push it all the way down to the source of that wound. I'm going to feel for where the source of that bleeding is happening, and I'm going to continue to push and push until I can feel myself stop that bleeding. I'm going to feed more gauze into the wound, and I'm going to go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm going to hit all four corners of every compressible area that I can to pack this wound with gauze, hopefully not letting up pressure on this area as I feed the gauze into the wound. Again, I'm going to all four corners, filling it up as quickly as I can. And the hemostatic agent in this gauze is working to enhance the clotting cascades and the clotting mechanisms that your body has. As you get closer to the top, an alternate technique is to press with one finger, then press with the other. Press with one finger, press with the other. What I'm trying to do is fill all of that void down under the surface and make a nice hard diamond or a rock of gauze that's fully compressed. You can see I'm using a great deal of this stuff. And believe it or not, there's about 4 yards of gauze in this thing, and we're going to push it all in there. Now, when I get to the top and I can't absolute pack any more gauze into here, I'm going to take the rest of it and I'm going to pile it into a big mash on top. So where I can transfer, when I apply pressure to it, down all the way to the bottom of that wound. That's the idea. And I'm going to put my body weight over my hands, just like a CPR compression, so it's less fatiguing for me to maintain pressure. With hemostatic agent in this gauze, I need to maintain this pressure for 3 to 5 minutes. I want you to check your watch or get a timekeeper, and you're going to hold this for 3 to 5 minutes in order for this to be effective. With our non-hemostatic gauze or regular Kerlix gauze or stuffing from a trauma dressing, torn up t-shirt, whatever you have, you're going to keep that pressure on for at least 10 minutes for it to be effective. This is a very long time. That's why your pressure technique of keeping your body weight over the point of pressure is so very important, because it's easy to get fatigued. Do not let up, do not check it. Continue to apply pressure for that 3 to 5 minutes with the hemostatic gauze and 10 minutes with non-treated gauze. Hey, thanks for watching the video on wound packing, a compressible injury. I want to talk about what constitutes a compressible versus non-compressible injury. A compressible wound like this is something that, again, is in a major muscle group or near a joint, anywhere where I'm going to have tissue to bone pressure that I can alleviate that bleeding by packing in something to tamponade or tamp down that particular bleed. Example of a non-compressible injury, something you don't want to pack, would be anything in the cranial vault, the head, the neck or airway, the chest, or the abdomen. Those are hollow areas, anywhere with a hollow organ like a lung or part of the digestive system, or obviously the brain or the airway. You don't want to pack that with anything, but wound packing is for compressible injuries only. I also want to mention that the example today that we used was for a gunshot. We were packing a gunshot wound. The likelihood of that for most of us is very, very small, though we should be able to deal with it. Consider too that penetration trauma, or things that make us bleed, can happen anywhere. This could be a car accident. It could be a lawn care accident, like with a lawnmower blade. It could be a sporting accident or a woodworking accident. Lots of ways that people can experience traumatic bleeding resulting in their death. Very, very important to be able to use this skill. We hope you never have to. Seek more information for equipment and training for bleeding control at broadustdefense.com.